What's up guys, how's it going? In today's video, a questions and answers announcement, a book haul and a quick reading wrap up. So recently BookCravings hit 2,000 subscribers, so I'd like to thank you so much for watching, subscribing, commenting. Let down below questions because I'll be doing a Q&A video soon, so if you have something you'd like to ask me, please let me know down below, okay? So let's jump into the book haul. I don't know if you guys remember, but I got some vintage books while I was in New York, but I bought them online, and due to the weather in January I couldn't get the books. I left New York before they arrived, so I had to pay for shipping, but they finally arrived. Here I have 3 beautiful vintage copies of Jane Eyre. The first one is a 1904 copy illustrated by George Varian. The illustrations are really nice and the copy is in perfect shape. Really tight copy, you know. You can handle it without being afraid of losing its pages. And this one is the most beautiful one. Look at the spine, it's a really beautiful book. This one is from 1914, I guess. It is illustrated by Seed Pride. I have to handle it with care, but the illustrations are really, really beautiful. And the spine is gorgeous. And finally I have here a copy from 1949, illustrated by Cole and Pemble. And the illustrations are in black and white, like this one. So here we have 3 new vintage copies from my Jane Eyre collection. I also got some really interesting Jane Eyre copies that are currently available, you know, new copies. This one here, really beautiful one. This is the early learning guide to Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre. This one is illustrated by Madalena Andronic, and I really enjoy Madalena Andronic's work. I have a Folio Society copy with her illustrations, and this one caught my eye because it's really, really gorgeous. And this collection aims to introduce great literary works to children, so I found it interesting. And finally I was able to get this copy here. This is Jane Eyre illustrated by an artist called Dame Darcy. I've been trying to get this book for a while. I got it last June, I guess, but it just didn't arrive here, and last month I got it on Amazon US, and somehow when I buy books from Amazon US I get them, you know, within 2 or 3 weeks, but when I purchase books from Europe they just don't arrive. I don't know what's happening at Brazilian customs. So this copy here is really interesting. I really enjoy the gothic style of this artist. Here we have a picture of her. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but yeah, I've been wanting this one for a while. I do like an update video with new Jane Eyre copies I got for you to see them in detail, but this one is a must-have if you're a Jane Eyre fan. And it's not expensive. I wish I could find the hardcover copy, but I couldn't. I guess that nowadays you can only find the paperback version, but the quality is okay and the illustrations are totally worth it. Next I got a Taschen book that was on my wish list for a while. This is the Tales of Hans Christian Andersen, a Taschen copy. Really beautiful one and not expensive at all for the quality you get, you know. So the cover is awesome, and the thing that I find most interesting about this copy here is the fact that it contains many fairy tales, but each one of them is illustrated by a different artist. So this is a hardcover, cloth bound, sewn binding copy with beautiful ribbon markers. Great quality for the price. And the next one I'll try to get is the Green Fairy Tales, like a collection, you know, same size. And I wish Taschen released more children's books because I really enjoy the quality, you know. Next I got a Brazilian classic by José Mauro de Vasconcelos, O Meu Pé de Laranja Lima. The title in English is My Sweet Orange Tree. This is about Zezé, a young kid that is really poor and his family struggles a lot to survive, and this guy, this little kid, and he does a lot of mischiefs and is beaten a lot by his family. His best friend is an orange tree, and it's really beautiful. This was translated to many languages, a really famous book, and I totally recommend it. This copy is a small hardcover, really an expensive one, so I wanted to have like a nicer copy of it in my collection. And next I have two books about books. They're both in Portuguese, but the original version of them are in English, so you totally can find the same books in English, right? The first one is called Books, A History by Martin Lyons. This is a book about the history of books. The title in English is Books, A Living History, and this one was released in 2011. And next I have here Manuscritos Notáveis by Christopher de Hamel. The original title is Meetings with Remarkable Manuscripts. So another glue binding, but somehow nowadays it's easier to get translated copies because of this problem with Brazilian customs when I buy books overseas, and I really don't know when they will be arriving here, so I decided to get this one in Portuguese. And I also got two new Macmillan Collector's Classics. Here I have Romeo and Juliet, and this one is Hamlet. I'm collecting Shakespeare plays and these small travel size copies because I think that the quality, when you consider the price, is really great. They are lovely, they're small, and they are durable. So I guess I'll be getting all the Shakespeare copies on this collection. And finally, I got a non-fiction paperback book because I'm really curious about it. The name is The Fourth Industrial Revolution. The author is Klaus Schwab. This is related to the World Economic Forum. I was really curious about this topic of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, so I decided to give this one a go. Yeah, I guess this is the book haul I wanted to show you, and let's move on to a quick wrap up. So there are many things going on in my life right now, and I haven't been reading as I wanted, but I managed somehow to read 4 books of my 2018 reading challenge. So I read The Tenant, Worldwide Fell Hall by Anne Bronte. It was really nice reading. The book is totally believable and the style is also great. So I really wanted Folio Society released a copy of this book that matched the gray pale gold copies I already have. Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights. I think that Anne Bronte totally deserves the same status of her sisters. And I also don't have a nice hard copy, and to be honest, I haven't been enjoying reading on my Kindle, so I wanted a hard copy, but I couldn't find a nice one. And I'm also reading the Little House series. So this year I read books 4 and 5 and currently reading the 6th one. These books are amazing. They talk about the settlers in the West, in the US. So they were written for children, but as the story goes on, the story gets more adult. You know, the problems they have to deal with are more serious, problems such as hunger and lack of money and dangers, you know, living in inhabited places. So it's been a real journey reading these books and getting to know the life in the end of the 19th century in the US. Really nice reading. And I got paperbacks, but the paperbacks are sewn. The illustrations by Garth Williams are amazing. I wish I had a hardcover collection of these books with the illustrations. What I have here is this box set by Library of America. I really love these books. I've been wanting to buy these books for a while, and I'm really glad I did it. I have a video, I'll put it here if you want to know more about these copies here, but they don't have Garth Williams illustrations, and yeah, the illustrations are amazing. What else? Next, I read a Brazilian book. This is The Hour of the Star by Clarice Lispector. I grew up reading Clarice Lispector's tales. I really enjoy them. And this one was on my TBR for a while. A Hora da Estrela, or The Hour of the Star, is a really famous book here in Brazil. Romance, of kind of a novella written by Clarice Lispector about a character called Macabea, a girl that lives completely forgotten and invisible, a really poor individual that is just surviving, you know, anonymously in a big city. The style is really interesting, but the story itself is so depressing. I don't know how to rate this book. I recommend it because it is unusual and interesting, but it's definitely not a favorite. So next I plan to read the rest of the Little House series. The next books will be The Long Winter, Little Town on the Prairie, These Happy Golden Years, and The First 4 Years. So I guess during April and maybe May, I'll be totally immersed in these stories by Laura Ingalls Wilder. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you have a question for my Q&A video, if you have something that you wanted to ask me, if you're curious about something about books, about my life, you know, let me know down below, and soon I'll be filming a Q&A. Thank you for watching. See y'all. Bye.